It's the season of events in Destiny 2. Right now we have Arms Week with the new spreadshot hand cannon a lot of players are grinding for at the moment. And the crazy thing is that next week it'll be Solstice. In terms of weapons though, funnily enough, in some ways, Solstice is actually more exciting because there are 3 weapons available. And to be fair, all of them are actually pretty juicy. And we have archetype firsts like the Festival Flight. That's going to be the first strand area denial frame grenade launcher. Plus there are a couple of others we can pick up. And as we've seen with Arms Week, there will be ways to get higher tier versions of these weapons. And if anything, Arms Week actually tips us off as to how this is likely to work. So we'll break it down in the video today, guys. If you find this one helpful, a rating really does help me out on the channel. But now let's get into it. Of course, with a lot of conversation about reward tiers and players aspiring to get higher tiers of rewards, we will be able to grab higher tier loot from Solstice, but I'm assuming it's likely to work in a similar way to Arms Week. So right now in the Arms Week event, you have to be at Guardian rank 5 in order to focus tier 2 weapons. On top of that, currently tier 3 requires rank 7 and tier 4 drops require Guardian rank 9. Obviously, the majority of players are not close to rank 9 yet, but I guess it's an important heads up in a way, because if you do want to try and get higher tier rewards from Solstice, there is a buffer of a few days between now and next Tuesday, 5th of August, when it drops, where it's worth actually trying to level up your Guardian rank. I personally haven't been paying a lot of attention to those objectives, so I hadn't hit Guardian rank 5 before Arms Week, but in terms of the actual objectives, they're not that difficult until you get, to Guardian rank 8 or 9. So given the reward tiers from these events seem to be tied to Guardian ranks, you at least have that heads up if you want to try and make a bit more progress before Solstice drops next week. Of course, Solstice will have new cosmetics, the armor set, which does actually get a set bonus. In case you're curious, the 2-piece bonus allows receiving healing temporarily to grant your solar weapons increased flinch resistance, handling, and reload speed. And the 4-piece bonus lets rapid solar final blows heal you. And it's quite possible that Guardian ranks will also affect the tier of armor rewards we can obtain as well. Let's talk about weapons though. We'll once again be able to get holofoil versions of these weapons, and the Solstice ones come with a cool kind of ocean animation. But Festival Flight is the first area denial frame grenade launcher with strand damage. Looking at the perks, in the first slot we can get Blast Distributor, as well as Demolitionist, Recycled Energy, Transcendent Moment, Envious Arsenal, Ambitious Assassin, and Slice. Then they compare in the second trait slot with Binary Orbit, Frenzy, One for All, Vorpal Weapon, Attrition Orbs, Hatchling, and Elemental Own-It. So straight away in the first trade slot, things like Ambitious Assassin tend to be pretty popular on this archetype. Demolitionist is also going to be pretty good, I think. There aren't a bunch of weapons in this archetype that can get that perk. I'm curious to try Blast Distributor against Demolitionist. Blast Distributor allows dealing splash damage to grant a bonus to the grenade stat. Obviously, Demolitionist produces grenade energy, but also reloads the weapon from reserve, so that might be the better option. Plus, we've got Slice in the first trade slot. And in the second slot, damage bonuses like One for All, I think actually could be really good on this weapon type, as weapon damage against 3 different targets should grant 35% increased damage for 10 seconds, so One for All will be pretty good. There are other damage bonuses like Frenzy or Vorpal Weapon, which is preferable if you want it for boss damage, as well as Binary Orbit and Elemental Own-In. So there are loads of damage perks here, but additionally with it being a strand weapon, it can get Hatchling, so that'll be fun if you like Chaos and more of the kind of ad clear potential. Then there's Attrition Orbs if you want to be an orb generating fiend. For me, personally, Demolitionist or Ambitious Assassin with One for All or Hatchling seem like a lot of fun. And while it doesn't really lean into the element at all, Demolitionist One for All I think will be one of the stronger perk combos on this, but you'll have to let me know what stands out to you down in the comment section. Next up, we have Fortunate Star, and that's a Void Precision Frame Bow. First trait slot can get Impromptu Ammunition, that's the new bonus where final blows increase ammo meter progress. It can also get Dragonfly, Repulsor Brace, Transcendent Moment, Killing Wind, as well as Archer's Tempo or Successful Warm-Up. With the second trait slot able to get Explosive Head, Precision Instrument, Destabilizing Rounds, then there is Sword Logic, Eye of the Storm, Archer's Gambit, and Demoralize. So things like Transcendent Moment or Killing Wind if you like weapon stat bonuses, or of course Archer's Tempo, Successful Warm-Up, which are popular for draw speed. On the elemental side though, Repulsor Brace or Dragonfly is pretty good in that first trait slot, and in the second slot we can pair them up with Destabilizing Rounds or Demoralize, which I think will pair especially well with Repulsor Brace or Dragonfly. Then there's Precision Instrument or Sword Logic, which are really good damage bonuses, and again Archer's Tempo or Dragonfly will pair well, especially with Sword Logic. But if you don't want to go for Archer's Tempo or Successful Warm-Up, keep in mind the Dreamwork origin trait on the Solstice weapons can offset that to a small extent. I'd personally quite like Dragonfly or Repulsor Brace paired with Demoralize, but again there are loads of options here, so let me know what stands out to you. The final new weapon though is the Yeartide Apex. This is a lightweight frame solar SMG, with the first trade slot being able to get Transcendent Moment, Recycled Energy, Heal Clip, Feeding Frenzy, Lone Wolf, Attrition Orbs, or Demolitionist. Then the second slot can get Burning Ambition, Binary Orbit, Incandescent, plus there is Harmony and Target Lock, but additionally Chaos Reshaped can roll in the second slot according to the database, and this is the first time as far as I know that this bonus has been able to roll outside of Salvation's Edge. So in the first trade slot, Transcendent Moment might be decent for stability and handling. There's also Heal Clip if you like Cure, and again things like Attrition Orbs speak for themselves. Demolitionist will also pair quite well with Incandescent or Burning Ambition in the second trade slot. But looking at Chaos Reshaped, that will actually grant up to a 35% bonus to damage as well as healing pulses at 2 stacks, so it takes a bit of work to get those stacks up, but it's very strong when you do. I'd quite like Feeding Frenzy or preferably Demolitionist paired with Scourge perks, especially Incandescent, but also Demolitionist and Chaos Reshaped was the most popular role on the Imminence from Salvation's Edge, which is basically a void version of this. So if you want that role, it's the first time outside of the raid that it's possible. This is also one of the first lightweight SMGs that can do the Scourge bonuses. So there's that as well, and this one will additionally get the text balance stock origin trait if you like that one. So overall, actually, these weapons are pretty good. And versus Arms Week, while I know some folks quite enjoy the spread shot hand cannon, the benefit with Solstice in particular is that there are a handful of weapons we can actually chase, so there's a little bit more variety there, not to mention the additional armor sets that we get. Again, in terms of tiered rewards, just keep in mind those Guardian ranks are probably going to play into this once again. It seemed to be a bit of a shock for players going into Arms Week because Bungie hadn't specifically announced it. But like I said, pending the probability that Solstice weapons will work the same way in terms of Guardian ranks affecting the reward tier, if you want to try and level up your Guardian rank now, I'd say it's worth doing it ahead of when Solstice actually drops. And again, the majority of objectives are not actually very difficult. For me, I wasn't paying a lot of attention to actually leveling up the Guardian rank until I realized that it can affect the tier of certain rewards, so it's another thing to be aware of with the loot systems in Edge of Fate. There we go guys, that's what we have to speak about, so I hope the video has been helpful. If it has, a rating really does help me out on the channel. Also be sure to get subscribed and I'll keep you posted with more Destiny content, but otherwise thank you for tuning in and I hope you guys have an awesome day.